Leaked emails made it clear that the 2016 Democratic primary was rigged against Bernie Sanders in favor of Hillary Clinton. Now it's looking like the 2020 race may have similar problems. Tulsi Gabbard has logged at least 2% in several dozen polls. But the DNC does not want her on the debate stage, and they're claiming now that those polls aren't certified polls. So Gabbard likely won't make the next round of primary debates. Michael Tracey has been following this from the very beginning. He's an independent journalist, and he joins us tonight. So I don't know exactly how many of our viewers are going to vote for Tulsi Gabbard, probably none. But I think we can all agree that Tulsi Gabbard is a valuable voice. We should hear from Tulsi Gabbard. And it seems to me, I don't want to be paranoid, but it sounds like the Democratic Party, they don't want her voice included. Am I being a conspiracy person by wondering that?
Well, you might be surprised, Tucker. She does tend to generate actually somewhat significant support among even conservatives and libertarians, notwithstanding the fact that she has a fairly straightforward left-wing policy agenda, but she has something about her, I don't know, ambience that draws a sort of idiosyncratic range of support from across the spectrum, and I think that has rubbed certain people the wrong way. I'm not going to allege a conspiracy as to why she is likely going to be excluded from the next debate, but I am going to allege that the criteria the DNC is using to determine who is included and who is excluded is laughably arbitrary. As I mentioned in an article that I wrote this week in Real Clear Politics, Gabbard has gotten over the required polling threshold in 2 separate polls in 2 separate early primary states. The Boston Globe is the newspaper with the widest circulation in New Hampshire, and the Post and Courier is the newspaper with the widest circulation in South Carolina. Gabbard has gotten placed at 2% or more in polls published by those 2 newspapers, but the DNC, in its bizarre, mysterious, infinite wisdom, has decreed, again, arbitrarily, that those polls are not approved, or they're not, they don't satisfy some weird criteria that nobody can quite ascertain. So while I'm not going to allege an overt conspiracy, although it's true that everybody from Donna Brazile to Elizabeth Warren alleged that the previous primary cycle was, quote, rigged, but you'd be forgiven for having that impression given how obscure and sort of inscrutable the criteria that the DNC is using this time around are. I'm not saying that Tulsi should necessarily have special privileges or that the rules weren't laid out months ago, which they were, but the rules don't seem to hold up to any kind of logical scrutiny.
Oh, right.
That's the problem.
And we know for a fact they despise her because she's challenged their neoconservative assumptions about foreign policy, and God bless her for doing that. Michael, thanks very much for joining us tonight.
Thanks,
Good
Tucker.
to see you.